everybody, my name is Lauren. I'm the teen librarian here at the Scott County Public Library in Georgetown, Kentucky. And I'm here today with another craft along. This one is kind of inspired by paper quilling. I hesitate to call it paper quilling because I'm not quite that fancy, but I wanted to share kind of a 2D paper art. And for this, it's really simple. All we need really is paper and glue. So I'm going to get started with you all. And it's supposed to be a book with little magic spirals coming out. That's kind of my inspiration because books are magical. So I'm just using construction paper. There are different types of paper that you can use for paper quilling, but I found construction paper works just as well and probably something you probably have. So I have a blue piece for my background, and I already have my strips cut out, but I measured 1-inch strips. So this is my red strip for my book cover, and then I have these white strips for my book pages. Now for the little magic spirals, I'm using this kind of light green color, and these are 1/2-inch strips. So I have my paper here that I measured 1 inch down, and then cut that out, folded it in half, and cut it in half again. So that is how I had my 1/2-inch strips here. So I'm going to get started with my book cover. I'm going to first fold my red strip here in half so that it makes kind of almost a V, kind of a right angle. And I'm going to kind of curl the edges out so it looks a little bit more like an open book. The glue I'm using for this is tacky glue. It's a little bit stronger than Elmer's school glue, I think. It's not quite as runny, so, but it does dry clear. So I think that is a good glue for this project. I haven't tried Elmer's school glue, but it might work. So you also, I like to use a pencil for this. You can take your pencil and mark where you want to run your glue. So I'm just doing little dots along the edge of my paper to help me keep track of where I wanted it to go. Just do that. And I like to work from the cover up. I think it kind of helps keep me out of where I've put the glue already, so that I don't mess up my paper strips as they dry. Okay, so I'm just going to come and trace kind of a thin line, glue, and there we go. So there's the glue in my paper. So now I'm just going to come and take my book cover strip here and just lay it right back on top of where I've put my glue. It doesn't have to be exact. You can kind of move it around a little bit. But then once you've got it there, it'll kind of stay put. And tacky glue is nice because it is a little bit stronger. So I'm going to take one of the white strips of paper, fold it in half for the book pages, and kind of figure out where I want it to go. I have it about 1/2 inch away from the book cover. So I'm going to come back in with my pencil and make my dots to kind of guide where I put my glue again. One problem with tacky glue is it likes to go back inside. So there we go. Okay. I kind of made a little bit of a mess there at the end, but that's okay because tacky glue dries clear, which is very nice. That is one thing I would recommend. Make sure your glue, whatever you're using, make sure it dries clear, and that way you can kind of clean up your page a little bit. So there's the cover and the first set of pages. For my second page, I'm actually going to cut off an inch from each end. I'm just gonna, there's my pencil, mark that there. I think it makes it look, I don't know, I like the way it looks. You don't have to do this. If you want all of your pages to be the same length or whatever, you can do that. I'm just gonna cut those off and just repeat the process. Just fold it in half and situate it on your page, and I'm gonna mark it with my pencil. Okay. And likes to stick in the bottle. There we go. So that one's about a ½ inch away as well from the other set of pages. So we'll put that on there. And then, okay. And then for my last set of pages, I'm actually going to cut off about, let's see, I think 1.5 inches was what I did, so that it's slightly shorter, kind of looks like it's going up in size. Now, again, just going to fold it in half and then take my pencil and mark where I want my glue to go. Whoop, moved it. Not want to come out of the bottle. Okay. Kind of almost think of it almost like origami, except origami doesn't usually involve glue. But if you like origami, you might like paper quilling, or you know, you might try paper quilling first and move on to origami. Paper mache collages. There's all sorts of things you can do with just paper and glue. Okay, so this is our book. So now we are going to roll our little magic spirals. So these are the strips that I cut into ½ inch. You can use the regular 1 inch strip if you like. I like the look of it being slightly smaller. So I'm going to take my pencil again and just hold the end of the paper as I roll it around my pencil. Now you kind of want to try to keep your edges together. You don't want it to get kind of wonky, because that will make it difficult to glue down. And I'm kind of trying to just, as I roll it, kind of pinch it to make sure that it doesn't completely unroll when I take it off my pencil. So, don't roll away. Now I have a little paper roll, and I'm going to let it unspiral a little bit. And if you have tweezers or like a pin, like a sewing pin, you can kind of straighten your spiral out so that your inner circle, the coils on the inside of your spiral are a little bit more pronounced. Mine is kind of, I don't have one of those with me, so it's going to just kind of be just a regular spiral. But I'm just going to come and put some glue down on my paper and stick my spiral on top so that it makes a little swirl coming out of the book. You can also cut your strips in half if you don't want to roll for quite that long, or change the shape of your spiral, you can do that. And if you have chopsticks, you can roll on those. They're a little bit smaller than a pencil, so your spiral will be a little bit different from that as well. So, getting there. Kind of like making paper beads. If you watched the video with Kelly, she made some paper beads with some magazine strips. So it's kind of like that. So here's the spiral that I've done with the chopstick. It's a little bit smaller. And we're just going to kind of glue it down as soon as the glue comes out of the bottle. Maybe. Right over here. So there's that. And the more you do this, the more you can kind of play with the shape of your paper once you've gotten it rolled. You can pinch it and make triangles or squares even, but the trick is you have to make sure that it's a good tight roll the first time. So we're going to take that off, and I'll try to make a triangle this time. So I'm going to pinch the top and then just kind of squish the bottom, and well, I made a square. But if you glue the end of your paper before, it will make a triangle. But okay, so you can just do that until you have as many magic spirals coming out of your book as you like, and then just for a little added, if you have glitter glue or just regular glue and glitter, if you very, very carefully brush it along the edges of your paper, you can give it a little bit of sparkle. So I'm just going to take some glitter glue and kind of dab it along the top. If you have a brush, you might brush it, or you can just use your finger like I'm going to do, because I can't do anything without making a mess. So, and there you go. So this is our paper quilling inspired 2D magical book art. And I have some books here that I pulled from our collection here at the Scott County Public Library that are either about paper quilling and getting started with it, or about using paper in all sorts of different art projects. You can use paper mache, I mean, all sorts of things. Paper is very versatile. So that is our 2D paper quilling inspired craft along. Don't forget to check out our other craft videos on our YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Check out our webpage, scottpublib.org, for more videos and virtual events.